So welcome back to another series of our Packet Tracer Activity Lab. So in today's lab, we are going to see how we can verify directly connected network. So in our previous class, we have discussed how we can verify directly connected network, where we showcase that when you view the interface of the connected network, you should be able to see a different annotation such as C and L, where C showcase the network that is connected to a router interface and L showcase the device network that is connected to a router interface. So in this activity, the objective is to verify the IPv4 directly connected network. They verify also the IPv6 directly connected network and troubleshoot connectivity issue. So that is the advantage of mostly using the show command. It's whenever we have any issue and we want to verify any connectivity issue, we can always use the show command to do that. So we should note that our user execution password is Cisco and the privilege password is class. So remember, all this class and Cisco, they are just basically used for practical purpose and should not be used in real life. In real life, you must also make sure that you meet the minimum password requirement, which is 8 in length with a mix of special character numbers and alphabets, right? Then uppercase and lowercase. So the first part of it is to verify IPv4 directly connected network. So verify IPv4 address and port status on R1. So check the status of the configure interface by filtering the output. So we'll click on the R1, then go to the command line and then press enter. So from here, we know that we have Cisco as the password and the enable, then we'll have class as the password. Now we can use the show IP interface brief. So remember, we say whenever we want to do any filtering, we can use our pipe, right? So then we want to exclude unassigned interface. So the interface that are not assigned, we don't want to see them. So this is a filtering. So it only shows the interface that has been assigned. So we have the Giga Ethernet 000 as an IP address of 172.16.20.1. So let's verify if it is corresponding to what we have on our document, right? So remember, we are on R1 and the interface G0/0/0 have 172.16.20.1, which means it is correct, and it is, but it is administratively down. Even though the IP address is assigned to it, but it is still administratively down, which means it was not activated. So that is one problem that we have actually seen. We need to activate that particular interface, because if we did not activate it, communication will not be able to go through. Then for the second interface, we'll have the 172.16.20.129, right? And then it is up and the protocol is up, which means it is communicating properly. Then the serial interface 209.165.200.229, and it is also manually up because it is not administratively down. So we are able to confirm that. So let's go to the next step and see. So based on the output, correct any port status problem. So without going far, let's do that. So we need to enter the global configuration mode, config T, and then the interface G0/0. We see that it's administratively down, and all we just have to do is to put the no shutdown command. No shutdown command. Okay, sorry, is that a mistake? Invalid interface. All right, sorry. So interface G0/0/0 is the actual interface. I only use 2 zeros, then no shutdown, and then press enter, and now we have activated. So we are done with troubleshooting one minor problem that we encounter. So referring to the addressing table and verify the address table, we have done that. So display the routing table by filtering to start the output with what? Gateway world. So we can do the same thing, exit. So now exit again. So we can use the command show IP interface brief. Then by excluding what they said, by filtering to start the output with what? Gateway. So let's just type gateway. So I don't think that is, let me use the question mark, begin. Is gateway now available? Line expression, regular expression gateway. So there is nothing like that. Then section, then display the routing table. Show, let's see the show command we have. AAA class history space. Is there anything like routes? Letter R after S. we have storm. There's nothing like route, right? So the command is actually show IP route, and then we use the pipe begin gates, right? So now with this, we can be able to see the gateway. So gateway of last result is 209.165.200.225. So that is the IP address of the port interface that is connecting to another network. So we can see the IP address 172.16.00 is the network address. It's variable subnetted 4 subnets and 2 max. The directly connected network includes the 20.1, and the directly connected device is the 20.1/32, right? And then the other network that is connected to the router is the 172.16.20.128, right? And the directly connected device is the 129/32. And then we also have the other variable side from the serial port 22.09165.200.0/24. And then the directly connected device to a network is what? The 224/29. And the directly connected device is the 229/32. So we can always confirm all those IP addresses to be sure if they are actually correct, right? So, but remember, this one is getting it directly on its own to know the devices that are connected to it. So if you observe what we are seeing over here, we have the 172.16.20.0, which is the device that is connecting to this side. You can see this is the network. And the other side is 20.128/25. That is this other network, right? And the device that is connecting to it directly is the 20.1/32. So where is the 20.1/32? Okay. So we don't have it over here. Then the same thing applies to the other side on the serial port. That is the 209.165.200/0. That is this particular network is what we are talking about. And we have the 224 on the other side. We have the 225 and the 224. The 224 is the network, right? And the 229 is the one connecting to the other side, right? So that is basically, then we have the S annotation, right? With a wheel card directing the network to this particular location, that is the 2T6. That is everything that is coming from this network will be directed to this particular 2T6 interface port. So I hope you get that. Then we'll go to the next part of it. We have done this. What is the gateway of last result address? So display the interface information and filter for discretion or connected port. So we can do that to see whether there's any discretion on the port. So we can just use the show interface, then using our pipeline, then we'll have the include description, include description or connection, CONN. Then we'll press enter. And now you can see a description over there is circuit ID, BCB, and this, right? The other description is connection to SW2. And the other description we have there is connection to SW1. So we can see it is connected to SW1 and connected to the SW2, right? And then the serial port is a circuit ID, which have a circuit ID of this. So that is this particular serial communication. And then at the other side, let's see again. So what is the circuit ID? You can see from the output you have. Display the interface information for G0/0/0 by filtering for duplex. So what is the duplex setting? So we are still trying to filter the interface. So let's use the same command, but this time now we'll filter include duplex, right? So let's say duplex. And then you can see they are both using full duplex and the media type is RJ45, right? So as simple as that. Then verify connectivity. PC1 and PC2 should be able to ping each other and the dual stack. If not, verify the status of the interface and the IP address assignment. So let's go to PC1 and then click on the command prompt. Let's try to ping PC2. So let's go to the IP address at the table and see the IP address of PC2. So we're going to ping 172.16.20.138, right? That is the IP address of PC2. And let's see if it's going to ping the PC1. And if it's not pinging it, it means we have to confirm what the problem is. So it is able to ping it, which means there is no any problem with that, right? So let's see if you can be able to ping the dual stack server. So we are going to ping the 64.100.1.10. So if it is able to ping it, it means there's no problem. But if it is not, it means it can't communicate with the default gateway. So we are able to get a reply, which means it is working. So let's try from the PC2, even though since PC1 can ping PC2, but let's see if the PC2 can ping the default gateway. So let's see, ping the dual stack server 64.100.1.10 and see if there's any problem with that. There's no problem. It is able to ping it successfully. So that means there's no any problem with that. And we can also confirm that manually by going back to the IP configuration. And then you can see that the IP address are correct, 172.16.20.138. I click PC2, so that means the IP address is correct and the default gateway is 129. It is also correct. So we'll do the same thing on PC1. Then you can also see if I go to the IP address configuration, we have the 172.16.20.10 for the PC1 and the default gateway is .1 also. So it is also correct and there is no any problem with that. So now let's see the other part of it. So verify the IPv6 directly connected device. So under the router 2, we have to click on the command line. Then you use the password Cisco and the enable password is class. The privilege execution mode. Then we can use the show IPv6 interface brief, right? And then it should be able to show us the interface. So you can see the G01 is up. This is up, but the serial is administrative down. Right? Then the serial 01 is administrative down and the serial 011 is administrative up. The VLAN is administratively down. So what is the status of the configure interface? So they are mostly up. Then let's confirm the IP address. So from here now, the G000, the IP address of that is 2001 DB8 CODE 12.1 and we have the /64, right? Then the G001 is what? But you can see there's an error in this. We have the 2001 DB8 COD instead of 13, we are having 14, which means there's an error in the configuration over there. Then the 2001 DB8 for the serial is 11.1. I mean, it's correct. The link local address is also correct. That means we have to correct the IP address on the G001. So in order to do that, we need to enter the global configuration command, config t, and then the interface G0/0/1. Then we'll type the no IPv6 address to remove the current IPv6 address. Then we'll now retype the correct IPv6 address, which is now 2001 :DB8, then COD8, then 13 instead of the 14 that was put there, :1/64. Then, okay, sorry, I did not include the IPv6 address, IPv6 address, then we'll press enter, then IPv6 address again, FE80 : 2 for the link local address, and then no shutdown, even though it's not needed, but it's already up, and then we have set that. So with this now, I'm sure we have corrected the IP address on this particular interface. So let's confirm it if it is not correct. So let's see, show IPv6 interface brief. And then you can see that we have now under the G001, we have the 201 DB8 CODE, then 13.1/64, right? Then the serial 001, serial 011, there is no any issue with that. Under the 001, okay, we need to correct the link local address of the serial 001. Right? So we also have the link local address of the serial 001. So config T again. Then we have the interface serial 0/1/1, then no IPv6 address, right? Then IPv6 address. So the no command usually you remove any configuration that you must have done. IPv6 address now is 2001 DB8 C0DE. Okay, C0DE double column 11 double column 1/64. Then the same IPv6 address 2001 FE80 double column 2 double column 2. Then we'll have link local. I will press add this, then exit. So let's see. So we can exit now again and then show IP interface IPv6 interface brief. Okay, show IPv6 interface brief. And now you can see that the SE011 is also correct now. S011 DB8 11 double column 1. Then the same thing applies to this C01 DE13 double column 1. Okay, so okay, the VLAN is administratively down. We don't need to activate that. So let's see the next instruction. All right, so we have actually performed this, the no IPv6 address 200114. So let me see, but we are only having one IPv6 address now. So it means we have configured the correct address on the interface, right? Displays the IPv6 out routing. So by using the show one, then using our filter, include IPv6 column pipe again, interface. Is that show run pipe include IPv6 interface. And now we have this. So the IPv6, we have the link local of this, the IPv6 20012 double column 1. And for these two, is the link local is the same thing, COD131, serial interface, no setting on it, and this will have IPv6 enabled. So how many addresses are configured on the interface? You can be able to answer that. Then confirm for PC3 and PC4. So let's just confirm the IP address on the PC3 and PC4. So by clicking on the PC3, we'll go to the desktop IP configuration and then the IPv6. So let's observe the IPv6 address on the PC3. So for the PC3, we can see that it is 12A, so it is correct. And the default gateway is also correct, is /64, so we don't have any issue with this. So we'll go to the PC4 and confirm it also, desktop IP configuration. Then for the PC4, you can see it is 13A, CODE DB8201, and the link local is also correct. But we are still seeing some completion rate as low. So let's do our confirmation to see where the error is coming from. The serial interface IP address has not been corrected. So let's quickly do that under the router 1. So for the router 1, we can quickly go to the router 1, press enter again, use the same password, Cisco, and then the password again over here is enable first, then we'll have class. So the serial interface seems to, or the IP address over there seems not to be correct. So let's see the show IP interface brief. So let's quickly confirm the IP address on the serial port of router 1. It seems it's not correct. So to do that, we can simply just go. I've used the show IP interface brief, and if you observe the serial 0/1/0, you can see it is 209.165.200 then 225, but over here we have 229. So we need to correct that. So to quickly do that, we can just do config T to enter the global configuration mode, interface CS0/1/0, right? Then no IP address 209.165.200.229, right? So press enter and then we'll assign the correct IP address, IP address 209.165.200. Then the correct one is 225. Then we need to use the 225. Then we need to use the subnet mask of 255.255.255./30. From 24, we have, let me use my calculator for that. So we have from 30 will be 128 plus 26, 64, 27. Then we'll have 32, 28. Then we'll have 16, 29 plus 8. That is 248. So we are going to have 248 over here. 248. That is /30. So it's just taken from what 128. We have 128 plus 64 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16 plus 8. So that is going to give us, that is 24 plus 6 is going to give us 248, right? So we can just press enter. And then I think we are good to go. So let me check the result again. Then the IPv6 is correct, but the subnet mask is still saying that it's not correct. So let me see where the error is coming from again. It says my calculation of my subnet mask is not correct, and then let's correct it. So let's just do the same thing. No IP address 209. Okay. Let me just use the no IP address completely. So I will just remove everything completely, no IP address, and then I'll correct it now with the one I type in. So IP address 209.165.200.225, then 225.225.248, and then it's still showing the same thing. Let's correct it again. Then the 128. So let's see that for the serial, this is /30, right? 209.165.200.225/30. Okay. So what is the subnet mask? So let me do a quick calculation on that. So we have 128 plus that is 64 2 plus 32 3 plus 16 4 plus 8, okay, 5, then plus 4 is going to give us 252. So that's where the mistake is coming from. So the answer is supposed to be 252. Maybe I missed one value. So instead of 248, now we're going to have 255.255.255.252. So that is the /30. Then we'll press enter, and then it should be able to be correct, and you can see we have 100%. So thank you very much. That is the end of this particular lab. So you can try it out on your own when you get access to the file. And if you have any problem, you can always reach out. So until we meet in the next practical lab.